What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Stella, and I'm trying to get the camera together here. So I'm going to talk today about a perimenopause symptom that is that some women may experience, and it's called anemia. I personally went through this and these past couple of years, and I want to tell you how I got rid of it, what my symptoms were. So if you are not one to want to hear about women's issues or menstrual cycles, this is not the video for you. So I'm giving you a couple seconds to say, nah, I don't think so. Not for me. But for women or anybody who's married or, is just curious about the video, you're fine, to watch the video and you'll hear what I've experienced. So in the past 5 years, because I'll say 5 years because in 2020, once I began working at home and was outside of corporate America, that's when I started to notice hot flashes. I was 45 years old, so obviously you know that perimenopause is coming. And as far as I knew, I could have already been in perimenopause, but the sure sign of it was two things: the hot flashes and then the heavy menstrual cycles. And by heavy, I mean extremely heavy, so heavy that I even thought at one point, what is this? What is happening? And is this real? And I've never heard a woman talk about this before. And I went onto the internet and looked it up, and I was like, okay, so this is a perimenopause symptom, the extreme heavy periods. And so that all began 5 years ago. Now, in the midst of that, I'm caretaking. I can't just run to a doctor. I have to try to figure it out through diet, as well as mainly through diet and any lifestyle changes I could make. So what really worked for me initially to get rid of some of my early symptoms, which were lightheadedness when I would stand up during my menstrual cycles, I would notice, I just felt this pounding instant headache, and like I felt a little bit unsteady. And like I said, I'm deeply in the middle of caretaking, so I just had to continue on with caretaking. If I'm helping mom, fixing something for her, reaching down, picking something up, life goes on. So that was one. The other thing I noticed is tiredness. So fatigue, working from home at the back, in my back office on the computer, and just feeling like, oh my gosh, I feel so tired and low energy. And then some of the more concerning symptoms, although those were bad enough, but I also noticed that I was mowing the grass and started to notice I had a mask on my face to protect my nose and mouth from dust with the T, Stella. I was trying to figure out if it was with a T or with the K. Dust with the T, Stella, come on. And I was like, why do I feel like I'm having trouble breathing? Like, I've never had trouble breathing in my whole life. What is happening? So I'm thinking, okay, you're mowing the grass. Maybe you're just getting a bit overtired, and I'm thinking, okay, so the weather conditions are perfect today. I mow grass all the time. I've been doing it for 20 years nearly, and I always feel great mowing. All of a sudden, I'm noticing at the same time with mowing that my legs felt like they had blocks on them. So each step I'm taking, I'm tired. I'm struggling to mow, and I'm thinking, what the heck is happening? I know at this point I'm nearly 50, and right now I am 50, but then I was thinking, I know I'm near 50, but my gosh, am I going to have to hire a lawn man? That's very upsetting to just think that your health was one way, and then all of a sudden you're having these crazy symptoms. So on this day I realized, oh my gosh, I'm on a period, and I've just gone through all these heavy days. This has to be anemia. So I started with chicken liver, with putting meat back in the diet, because I was trying to do as little meat as possible. I've never been vegan, but I would say I'll just have 1 or 2 pieces of meat per week. And then I said, no, I need to do every single day a little bit of meat. So I'll do a drumstick or a chicken wing or a little bit of ground turkey. But I noticed, okay, I still need to do more, because the symptoms, although better, the fatigue was the first thing to go away. So I didn't feel tired during periods. And I got to the point where I could now still jump and do a jumping jack without my head pounding every time I started to try to jump during a period. So those went away, but I still had other symptoms, such as the shortness of breath and the heart racing. And, then I also noticed I was like, what is that sound? And there was a thumping in my ear. And I'm thinking, what the heck? I've always had tinnitus. Not always, but from all those concerts in the 20s, living it up. And next thing you know, yeah, I got thumping in your ears. But yeah, so, and also working on a headset for over 20 years, so that all of those things can obviously create, the ringing in the ears. But it was a low level ringing in the ears that I could just drown out with a fan, and I've had it for, I don't know how long, maybe 20 years, so that was not that upsetting, right? But it was thump, 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 and I'm like, what is that? What is that sound? Why am I thumping like that? And so let me just read a little bit to you, ladies and men, because there may be some men watching this as well. It says, with anemia, the blood composition changes. Your red blood cell count is low, which can trigger turbulent blood flow in the veins. And Dr. Adunko says the turbulent flow can generate the thumping noise in the ears. And so once again, anemia. So the thing that I did that was the ultimate game changer is I began using a cast iron skillet, so that every single time I am cooking, which is every day, because I try to prepare most of my meals, I have iron in my food. I can taste the iron from the skillet. And so now, thank you, God, now I mow the grass. I feel great. I haven't had any shortness of breath. I have not had the weakness during the menstrual cycles, even though every single month I'm still menstruating. And until last month, every single month for 5 years, it was extremely heavy for those 2 days. Last month was like an anomaly, and finally it wasn't heavy. And I thought, oh, great, maybe it's about out of here. Goodbye. I think there's a certain point as a woman, you kind of go, oh, it's going to be so weird to be menopausal, because it's going to mean that I'm old, if you will, or that that my whole reproductive life is over. So there's a certain sentiment attached to it. But with all the perimenopause stuff that I've literally experienced, I'm like, no, I am excited. Sorry, guys. Spam caller. It said potential spam. Anyways, I'm like, okay, whenever it's time, whenever it's out of here, I will rejoice. I will be happy about that. And I mean, I still might have a mixed feeling or two, because you have it for so long, it's kind of, it may be weird for it to go. I don't know. But at this point, it shouldn't be weird. I should be happy about it. Because although I'm middle-aged, let's face it, we want to still be active. I want to still mow the grass, for as long as the good Lord allows me. And I want to still, do things like, I would love to go to Sedona and hike Cathedral Rock. That's on my list of things to do. And things like that I've thought about as I was going through perimenopause. Like, could I even do that right now because of the shortness of breath? You can't be in the middle of a hike and there's parts of it that's very, very narrow. It goes up 6,000 feet and people behind you and like, oh, I can't, I'm feeling winded. I'm feeling short of breath. Like, you stopping the whole, thing and going back down, it would just be such a mess. So, these kind of issues matter. And of course, if you're a mom, if you're a caretaker, we got to be able to, have solutions, hopefully, for these issues. So that is my little trick. And also not trick, but those are my, that's what remedied it for me. And I pray that it does the same thing for you. Cast iron skillet, changing the diet, beets. Once again, I know I'm recapping. Beans, lots of beans. I eat a ton of beans, you guys, each month. And then all the other high in iron foods that you can find by just going online. What are my iron-rich foods? But if you use the skillet, it's great, because that's what really changed everything for me, to where I'm like, I literally stop and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't hear the thumping. That's so wonderful. Still hear the ringing, but that's okay. So, and it's a light ringing. Like I said, compared to the thumping, it's a whole different situation, to where I'm like, this thumping, it's got to go. So, the other thing I'll say about being in this age group is that a lot of us intermittent fast, because I'm a faster as well. I just did a 24-hour fast a few days ago, and then a couple weeks ago I did a 24-hour fast, and I'm trying to determine how many times a month I'm going to fast like that. But when I don't do 24-hour fast, most days out of the week I'll do a 16-8 fast, where I'm just eating for an 8-hour window. During my periods, when I was struggling with anemia, I said that has to go out the window. I need to have my full focus on getting the iron in my body, so I can't be thinking about weight gain because I'm this age, and I'd rather not gain the weight, so I can't eat. So I had to really just put that on the back burner during the menstrual cycles. And the last thing I'll say is, if you're a tea drinker, tea um, can cause you to not absorb iron as well. So what I read is that through my research, you should do tea about an hour before or after a meal, because you don't want to do all the iron, boosting things and then drink the tea, and the tea is making it to where you're not really getting that proper iron. So ladies, I hope this helps you in this phase. I talk to my young nieces about period issues, cramps, and advising them to please drink tea. Like ginger tea and raspberry leaf tea is what cured my extremely bad menstrual cramps, to where I haven't had bad cramps in years, thank God, because I had them until I found out that secret. And I was 47 years old and thought, how do we not know these things about women's health? And it's because a lot of us don't feel comfortable sharing, and I get that. But I think that, at least within your own household, I hope there becomes more of a comfort level, because even as I'm approaching menopause, of course, I want to know what's going to happen, and what other women have experienced has been incredibly helpful, for me to just absorb the information. So be well, women. Take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones. Talk to your loved ones. Ask, everybody what's going on, and don't be afraid to have the candid conversations that we need to have, so that we can feel the best and have as much longevity and as much wellness in our lives that we can. Hopefully we can be well until our last day, right? Anyway, guys, I love you guys. God bless you guys. If you haven't already done so, subscribe. The channel is not normally, talking about this type issue, but I certainly will talk about a health issue whenever I feel it may help someone. But I'm really starting to have a lot of fun content, and a lot of great things are coming up. So bye guys, I will see you in the next video.